2 games. We get shutouts for both clubs.
Crazy back and forth ball games, 2 very different ball games. But I tell you what, this would be a big win to get for the Mariners, get them back to 500. Angels would fall to 500. We'd be tied, deadlocked. So a big game out there today with some stakes.
Talk about a pitching matchup. It's brought to you by Alexis and Jesse Chavez for the Angels. He's 1-6 career against the Mariners, and he goes against James Paxton, the Big Maple.
Well, Pax, still trying to get back after that DL stint. Take a look at him from last time, his last outing against Philly. Looking a little bit better. I think as he's come back off the DL, his starts have gotten better and better. He's finding that breaking ball. His velocity's starting to climb back up to where it was. I expect him today to come out and be the James Paxton that we saw in April and May.
Pounding the fastball and come out with 98 or better. Jesse Chavez, as we mentioned, 1-6 career against the Mariners. What's he bring?
Well, I'll tell you what, if he wasn't watching Velasco last night, he's crazy. A lot of breaking balls, a lot of off-speed stuff from Velasco last night. Chavez, I would expect, would throw a little bit more on the off-speed side, but he's got that good fastball. He's got a little bit of a cutter that he likes to throw as well. I think he's going to throw everything he's got at these Mariners today, giving up 19 home runs also, so hopefully the Mariners can touch him for a couple today.
That would be something special. Well, one guy who will not be hitting a home run will be Nelson Cruz. Last night, he hit just a rocket to deep left center field, did the curly shuffle here. That didn't hurt him, but when he slides into second, look what he does to his right knee. And some discomfort there, and it's going to keep him out of action for a couple of days. That's a big loss.
Yeah, it's a big loss. Looks like he came down on that right knee a little hard, and anytime you lose that 4-hole hitter, especially a guy like Cruz, it juggles the lineup a little bit. Mitch Haniger in there for him today. But, Hanny's been swinging the bat very, very well, so hopefully he can drive in a couple.
Absolutely.
Today.
Nelly's got that big pain threshold, so it must really hurt. Let's check out our big fish catch from last night. Big Fish Casino. Big catch. And how about Mitch Haniger? He's hitting the ball hard with authority and also showing that he can cover some outfield. That's a fine catch right there on a difficult play for him. Ball hit right at him, and he used that great athleticism to make the play. Series finale, and then we come home for a week and take it to the break. Glad you're with us here in Mariner Baseball. First pitch is straight ahead. Well, you know where this man's allegiance lie. It's with the Angels and Mike Trout, but he's still on the DL right now. So the Angels, without Mr. Trout, take on the Mariners this afternoon in the finale of this series. And the Mariners will be without their big gun, Nelson Cruz. So two of the big storylines as we get ready to tee it up here at the Big A in Anaheim. Dave Sims and Dan Wilson with you. Beautiful Southern California Sunday afternoon here, 76 degrees. Blue sky above and another big crowd coming into this fine stadium. We look forward to seeing James Paxton in action today, Dan. This should be fun. Learning a lot and figuring things out here these last few starts.
Yeah, he's obviously coming off the forearm injury. This will be his 6th start, and I think each start has gotten a little bit better. He looked a little bit better against the Philly last time out and had the better velocity that we'd seen, but still hasn't gotten up to that 96, 97 mile an hour range that we're used to seeing from Pax, especially earlier in the season. So hopefully he comes out there with that today. I expect him in this beautiful California sunshine, like you mentioned. He'll get good and loose, and we'll see a James Paxton we're used to seeing.
There's Jesse Chavez taking the mound for the Angels. Mariners have seen him plenty of times over the years from his days with the Athletics. Take a look at the Mariner batting order that Chavez will face.
It'll be Segura leading this one off. Ben Gamble hitting second. Haniger in and the 4-hole for the hurting Nelson Cruz. And then it's Seager Valencia Heredia getting a start in center field today after being off a few days. Mike Zunino back behind the plate. And Boog Powell, who they just called up, will be the designated hitter in the 9-hole. Take a look at Jesse Chavez, his numbers on the year. This will be his 17th start, the 5-8 record, 5.04 ERA. And he likes that cutter, but he has given up some home runs. The Mariners stymied last night. We're not able to push any runs across the board, but with 4 home runs the night before, let's hope they can touch Mr. Chavez for a couple of long ones today. Take a look at the Angels defense. May have been out in center field again. A couple of nice plays last night, a couple of sliding catches and catches out at the wall. Escobar, Simmons, Espinoza, Valbuena on the infield, and Martin Maldonado back behind the plate for the Angels.
We are ready for action. The umpires for today's ball game. Bill Welke's got balls and strikes. Jim Reynolds at first. Sean Barber is at second, and Lance Barrett is at third. Here comes Gene Segura to lead things off. Going with the heavy Spanish flavor, Mr. Chavez. Jesse out of Riverside, California. 33 years old. With the Dodgers for a little bit last year for 23 games. And here's your first pitch. Ball 1 to Gene Segura. 0 for 4 in yesterday's ball game. 77 degrees here. Segura at .327 and a career 1 for 4 against Chavez.
Chavez working really quickly here early on. Dave just got that good tempo, getting the ball right back on the rubber.
Chavez began his major league career with the Pittsburgh Pirates. From there he went to Atlanta, Kansas City, Toronto, Oakland, Toronto again, the Dodgers, and now his first year with the Angels. So full count here to Segura. See how Maven shading towards right center. Pitch off the fist, fouled straight back. Last night, Ricky Nolasco, one of the best games of his career. Complete game shutout, his 6th career complete game shutout. Ran his career mark to 112 and 112. Gave up 3 hits. Segura career 1 for 4 against Chavez. And getting that pitch count up. The 7th pitch, 8th pitch coming up.
A lot of fastballs, cutters here to start the game for Chavez.
Here we go, 3-2 one more time, and fouled off again. As a catcher, did you feel a sense of frustration when the guy was having an 8-9 pitch at bat?
Absolutely. Especially to start the ball game, you really want to get that first out of the way and get rolling. Segura doing a really nice job of spoiling some tough pitches. Let's hope he can get on base right here.
The Mariner fan brought the glove and it paid off. And early, didn't have to wait all 9 innings, so better portion of his day is complete already. Bouncing ball, Escobar. Retreated, makes a nice play. I'll bring up Ben Gamble. A lot of offers in last night's ball game. Mariners only get 3 hits. They were scattered 2. Cruz got a single in the 2nd. Base hit by Haniger in the 5th. And in the 8th inning, a leadoff single by Valencia. That was it. Ben coming off a great month of June with 42 hits. First time Ben facing off against Jesse Chavez. Breaking ball, swing and a miss.
Pretty good curveball right there from Chavez. He's got a curve and a slider along with that cutter and fastball, and he'll mix in a change from time to time.
Ball 1. Mariners at 40 and 42. Angels a game above 500, 43 and 42. Off the plate, 2-2 the count to Ben Gamble. And Simmons strategically placed. 2 down.
Well, Ben Gamble continuing to hit the ball hard. The pitch middle of the plate, just drives it right back up the middle. But with this shift, Dave, you got that shortstop who's playing right there, and Andrelton Simmons making a nice play, little leap.
He's been impressive in the first 2 games. Simmons. Here's Robbie Cano. 2 nights ago, 3 for 5, 2 homers, 5 runs batted in. Robbie's got a career mark of 11 for 25 against Jesse Chavez. Robbie the other night, it was great to see that big smile after those 2 home runs. He plays the game with a lot of joy, no doubt about that.
Loves to play.
1-1. Outside.
91 on that fastball, some good run. He's got a little bit of a run. He'll throw a 2-seamer to complement that cutter.
Trying to find a hole, cut off by Escobar. Jump throw, nice dig there by Luis Valbuena. Mariners go in order here in the first inning. James Paxton in search of his 6th win of the season. We're going to see him take the mound when we come back. Going to lead off with Cameron Maben, and here's a look at the rest of their batting order.
Well, the veteran Cole Calhoun in the familiar 2-hole. Pujols, the designated hitter, hitting third. Yunel Escobar has been fairly quiet this series, but has been swinging the bat well. He's in the 4-hole. And you got Simmons, Maldonado, Valbueno. And we look at the Mariners' defense. Guillermo Heredia getting a start in center field today. And you have Seager, Segura, Cano, Valencia around the infield. Paxton on the mound, and Mike Zunino back behind the plate. Take a look at James Paxton and his numbers on the year. 12 starts, 5-3 record, 3.44 ERA. And he's been different since being back off the DL. His numbers aren't as good, but he's continuing to get better each time out. Look for a good start from Pax today.
Forearm situation cost him some time. Made a start against the Angels on the 2nd of May, then didn't pitch again on May 31. First pitch strike to Cameron Maben. There we go, his career numbers. Good ERA, 2.12. Oh, worm burner. Segura throws out, Maben one away. Again, this is an Angel club playing without Mike Trout. Injured thumb, happened back on May 28th. He's expected to be back next weekend. And the Mariners sort of balanced out with Nelly Cruz on the shelf for a couple of days with discomfort in his right knee. Here's Cole Calhoun.
His Angel offense, Dave, has been very aggressive early in the count. They've been swinging a lot early. Let's hope that helps Paxton's pitch count today.
Calhoun had a good month of June, hitting at 308. Cole going 0 for 3 in last night's game. Pretty good stroke down the line, but foul.
Take a look at Pax and his numbers before and after the injury. Look at the ERA, 1.43 before going on the DL to the 5.93 since his return. It's a pretty big discrepancy, but again, each time out's been better, and that forearm's going to take a little time to get back, and hopefully that velocity, we'd love to see the velocity get up to where that 96, 97, so that his breaking stuff is that much more effective.
And that velo on the fastball was absolutely devastating, and not only to left-handers but right-handers, you couldn't get any kind of extension.
Right.
He was working hard in on the hands. 0-2 here to Calhoun. Look, comebacker. James stays with it. Underhand toss for out number 2. You and I were talking about Pax fielding. That's had not been one of his strong suits, but he's made marked improvements in the last year and a half.
No, and we're not going to get any style points on this one either. It's kind of a half swing, and excuse me, didn't really want to, and kind of pops out in front of home plate. And kind of snuck through Pax's legs, but he's able to handle it. And went with the underhand toss to Danny at first.
Do you find so many pitchers in close quarters or short area situations like that are petrified to throw overhand?
Yeah, you know, it's a thing with a lot of pitchers is being able to make that throw to first base. I think, you know, they throw so much off the mound, but they forget those days of when they were in Little League and they could play shortstop and third base, and they could make that infield throw. It's a different, shorter arm action, but making the adjustment on a ground ball is tough for him.
1-1 to count Albert Pujols. Ground ball to the shortstop. Segura gathers and takes his time, throws out the future Hall of Famer. 1-2-3 in the first. Glad to have you with us here. Mariner Baseball from Southern California. Sports being brought to you by your local Ford stores. By Safeco Insurance, find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. And by the Emerald Queen Casino, presenting Southern Rock legends Leonard Skinner, July 20th. Tickets at emeraldqueen.com. Good look in from the rock pile. Here at the Big A, Mariners, Angels just getting underway. 4, 5, and 6 in the order for the Mariners. Here's Mitch Haniger. 1 for 3 last night. First 2 times up on Friday night, hit the ball as hard as he can hit it. Hit into double plays, and Kyle Seager doubled off twice. Tough break. 1-1 to Mitch. Made a fine running catch in right field. Hear it all the time from outfielders. The toughest one sometimes to get the balls hit right at you. Good arm extension and reached up over his head and made the play.
Chavez really pounding the bottom of the strike zone here on Haniger with his fastball.
Way outside. Nice stop by Maldonado. You mentioned Chavez working at a good pace. Who's the fastest worker you caught during your time?
You know, Moyer liked to work pretty quickly, but I'm going to go back to my Cincinnati days.
Oh, Tom
Browning.
Tom Browning.
He was really fast.
They've over to his right. I always use as a barometer Jim Cott in his latter stages. He was having a catch. He'd get it and would take a windup and just throw it.
Yeah.
And that's what Browning was like.
Yeah.
Mariners and Boeing, they give a tip of the cap to our youngest fans with Salute to Kids Day on Sunday, July 9 against the A's. All kids 14 and under. Going to get a Nelson Cruz t-shirt. They're invited to run around the bases post-game, so go to mariners.com for your tickets. Big fireworks show tomorrow night. Kansas City coming to town. Make sure you come on out to the ballpark. Here's Kyle Seager. 5 career hits against Chavez, 2 for home runs.
Yeah, you mentioned Tom Browning. It felt like a middle infielder trying to make a turn. I had to get it back to him so quickly. He wanted that ball. He wanted that ball.
Fouled back. Was you had probably left when he threw that no-no?
He threw a perfect game.
Perfect game.
Before I had gotten there, and he was one of those guys that was very routine oriented. So ever since that perfect game, he would start his warm-ups before the game at the same. It was like 6:17 after the hour.
Right.
And, you know, he was just everything had to be like it was that day. And,
no kidding.
yeah, he was.
I mean, he took that. He took baseball. You know, it just took it to the extreme,
yeah,
huh?
Yeah, he did, but didn't throw hard, but got you out. He was kind of mixed it up, did a nice job with the changeup, and just worked really, really fast.
I remember the Hall of Famer Dave Niehaus telling me about a game that Mark Burley pitched against the Mariners one time, like in an hour 56.
Yeah.
Were you in that game?
I remember the game, whether I was in or not, I don't remember.
Ryan Franklin throwing for the Mariners. Got it under 2 hours. Short right field. Here comes Calhoun. 2 away. Mark Burley just had his number retired by the White Sox in the last couple of weeks. Send him home early, Burley.
Yeah, keeps your defense alert and alive.
And it sounds like, yeah, no kidding. But no, seriously, no kidding. It does.
It does. The downside, it can be a positive because you can get a lot of quick outs. The downside is when things start to roll down the hill and the snowball starts, it can get pretty big pretty fast. And you can get into trouble pretty quickly. So, but for the most part, I love guys that get up there and want to get the ball and get after it.
That way you don't have to play short attention span theater. I mean,
Right. Yeah.
Danny Valencia 1 for 2 last night. And he's got one hit in his career against Chavez. Infield straight up, outfield tilted towards the right for Valencia. Advantage Danny right now with a 3-1 count. .326 batting average for Danny in June. So back up this way.
Well, on the early going here, Bill Wilkie looks like he's got a fairly generous zone at the outset here. See how that plays out as the game goes on.
3-2. Strike 3 called. Inning over. First strikeout for Chavez. First strikeout of the ball game. Danny and Bill will agree to disagree. Fourth of July weekend, and with that in mind, wearing a seatbelt is your best defense in any crash, so please always buckle up. Help us reach Target Zero. Learn more at WADrive-to-zero.com. Bottom of the second inning. Escobar, Simmons, and Maldonado coming up. Some sprinkling of Mariner fans on this bright sunny day. James Paxton went 1-2-3 in the first. He's got ball one to Escobar. 0 for 4 against James. Bouncing ball to Seager, easy play. 1 down. We're talking about quick working pitchers. The Mark Burley, Ryan Franklin game, an hour 39, 2-1 White Sox win it.
Yep. These guys were down there telling me from the truck downstairs that I was 0 for 3, so it's no wonder I couldn't remember.
April 16, 2005.
Blocked that one out. Paul Konerko, 2 home runs, 2 solo shots. And
I got here in 07, and Paulie's retired now, what, 2 years? And it seemed like every series he had multiple home runs against the Mariners. Was that the case when you were catching too?
Yeah, he hurt us pretty regularly. There was a stretch there where he was a tough out.
Yeah.
And was strong.
Good player. Swing and a miss by Simmons. Showing some pop this year. He's got 9 home runs.
They really like his defense at short, but tell you what, he got a slider up in the zone the last night from Gaviglio and put it out in the rocks out there. He's got surprising pop. Doesn't look like a big guy, but he's strong.
Simmons played at Western Oklahoma State. And .303 career hitter with 32 home runs. That is Paul Konerko against the Mariners. Wow.
You had to look it up, didn't you, Dave?
Well, boys in the truck. But I was curious. I knew the numbers were significant.
Yeah.
1-2 pitch. Zunino makes the play. Important out right there on a 1-2 pitch. Simmons with 9 home runs, his previous best 17 back in his second year in the big leagues with Atlanta.
Nice pop-up for Mike Zunino. Always love to get a chance to get into the game a little bit. This one's a little challenging for 2 reasons. It's close to the screen, and secondly, he's looking right at the sun.
Yeah.
But Mike does a nice job. We always joke around with catchers. We say, look, #1 rule on a pop-up is do not panic. Do not panic.
Good call.
Relax. You got plenty of time.
Good pitch. Fooling Maldonado. What goes into that in terms of panic? I mean, a lot of times, the first few times guys are going through in a major league situation, they panic because?
Finding the ball, #1.
Mm-hmm.
And major league pop-ups are different than when you put them in the
That's
jugs
the truth,
machine.
right? That's a good point.
They got a lot of spin on them.
And you always want to turn your back to the infield, right?
Got to get your back to the infield. Find it. Get your back turned. Get your mask off.
As Carlos Ruiz showed a few days ago, get rid of it. Complete opposite direction.
That's exactly
so
right.
in the event the wind blows it back, you don't kill yourself.
But
when you got a story, high school, college, you had to trip over one, right?
I never did because I got rid of it, but I tell you, I've seen guys do it, and it's not pretty.
Yeah.
It's not pretty.
Oof.
And you can get hurt stepping on a mask like that.
Segura getting some action today. Throws out Maldonado and a nice 3 up, 3 down. 6 up, 6 down for the first 2 innings for James Paxton. It's time now for a Geico This State Major League History. Oh, this is a game. Love hearing these stories. Warren Spahn, Juan Marichal. They duel shutouts. 15 innings. Willie Mays home run wins it in the 6th inning. I think it was Herman Franks was the manager of the Giants. You can double check that. But supposedly about the 13th inning, he wants to take Marichal out. He said, if that old man Spahn is still in the game, you're not taking me out.
Wow.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, that's awesome. That's just
different world.
Yeah. Wonder how many pitches they threw.
Yeah, we can look that up. But that's you hear all these great stories from that. I remember the first or second time I heard it. Said, who do you think won the game? And I went, let's see, 1963, 24. I think Mr. May said, yeah, you're right. Guillermo Heredia Nice to see him back in the lineup. Bottom third of the order, Heredia, Zunino, and Boog Powell. Give you an idea how different things are. I mean, those guys pitching shutout ball into the 16th inning. I mean, you get guys now, I won't mention any names, but they get the 100 pitches in the 6th inning. They're looking up at the board. I can remember one manager telling me, yeah, I see the number up on the board, and no, I'm not coming to get you.
Yeah, you know, it's that 100 pitch mark is really magical in some ways. I mean, it's what everyone kind of uses now, but you know, you think back even the days of Randy Johnson. Randy could throw 120, 140 pretty easily.
Well, you caught a bunch of those,
yeah.
didn't you? Heredia works a walk. First Mariner base run.
Catcher, number 3, Mike Zunino.
Take a look at the Mariners calendar, brought to you by Mattress Firm. Coming into the All-Star break, Kansas City playing some good ball lately. The Royals at 40-40 starting today. Then the Athletics come to town, and then the Mariners enjoy some downtime. Then head to Chicago and Houston, and then on the 20th, the I-95 portion of the schedule will be upon us with the Yankees, Red Sox, and Mets coming to town to finish out July. 1-1 to Mike Z. He was pressed into service yesterday after Nelly went down with the knee injury.
That's when we got to see Water in action down in the bullpen.
That was classic.
Awesome.
Tough one for Mike yesterday. Called out on strikes twice, and I'd say you could debate both of those third strikes.
And Nolasco was really using that breaking ball to Mike early and then finished him with the fastball late. Both times questionable.
31 runs batted in, month of June. Quick throw, back is Heredia.
Maldonado likes to throw. He's got a good arm. Came over from the Brewers last year, and last year was second only to Yadier Molina in terms of caught stealing percentage, so he knows how to do it. And one of the ways is to keep runners close with snap throws like that.
Foul tip. So you're coming out of Minnesota, you're headed to Cincinnati, get to the big leagues. But growing up, as a catcher, who was your guy that you watched?
Well, I was pretty fortunate because the Reds were the team that I followed the most. I even though I grew up in Chicago area, I loved the Cincinnati Reds. It was a big red machine back
75, 76,
oh,
you kidding?
Yeah, I mean,
that was a tough choice, Dan.
We knew everybody's stance, everybody's numbers. I mean,
man, what a group.
All-star at every position, just about.
That was a great club. Mike Scioscia and the Dodgers fought many a battle against that crew because they were good during that time.
So as a result, it was Johnny Bench, of course.
Both managers in today's game, catchers, as are so many, as Z strikes out. Last time I looked at it, 15 managers, something like 9 or 10 in the American League had some kind of catching in their background, whether it be minor leagues or a lot of them made it to the majors. Everybody protect our West by enjoying Banquet beer through September. A portion of every Coors Banquet purchase will be donated to the Wildland Firefighter Foundation. Learn more at wffoundation.org. There's Boog Powell. He was called up. Max Posey sent back to AAA, and Boog's been swinging a pretty hot bat at Tacoma, hitting at .331, 3 homers, and 20 runs batted in his 41 games there, and stole 9 bases in the process. His time here with the big club, 179. No homers and 2 runs batted in. Got that first major league hit back on May 16 against the Athletics.
Great to see Boog back here. Bring some energy to the clubhouse. And gotta love speed. Never takes a day off.
It's disruptive. Seen with Dyson. The positive impact he's had. Hit hard, base hit, right field. Heredia showing some speed. We'll get to third easily. Calhoun's got the good arm. Gets it back into the infield. So Boog Powell, welcome back. Runners at the corners, 1 out. First Mariner hit.
Shortstop, number 2, Gene Segura.
Now Boog using that hole over at first base with Valbuena holding the runner on a little bit of a hole, able to drive a pitch through that hole and pick up the base hit, but more importantly, sending Heredia over to third base. Now a chance for Gene Segura to drive in a run here with less than 2 outs.
Nice long at bat for Segura, leading off the ball game. 10 pitch at bat. Breaking ball outside. Good speed out there for the Mariners. Heredia at third, Powell at first. 1 out. Angels double play depth up the middle with Simmons and Espinosa.
Chavez went with the high socks, but he went, your suggestion, Dave, he went with the 2 socks that are the stars.
Yeah, exactly.
Didn't go stars and stripes.
Much effective look there. What we're speaking of, folks, you can see the red and blue patterns in the caps in both teams. But yesterday, the Sox, we saw in multiple games, you have the Sox with the stars, and then you had stripes on the other, and guys were wearing 1 and 1. Couture expert Dan Wilson duly noting that
there you go.
it's a heck of a lot better. Man, that very thematic and consistent. Guy just made a nice catch over here to our right. Barehanded, I should mention. One and 2 here to Segura. Two and 2 with Ben Gamel on deck. Mr. Chavez on a list that he just soon not be a part of. Ricky Nolasco, Mariners couldn't get to him. Tanaka, 4 other players tied with 18. Up the middle, base hit. Mariners lead 1-0. Powell will hold that second. RBI for Gene Segura. As Heredia scores, the Mariners on the board. 24th RBI for Gene.
Another good at bat for Segura. His first time up, the first hitter of the game. Fought off a lot of pitches, saw everything probably that Chavez had, and then was able to take advantage here. Take a look at the replay. Pitch down and away. Segura goes down there to get it and just takes what he can get right up the middle to drive in the run. And the Mariners have something going here in the third.
2 on, 1 out. Here's Ben Gamel. Takes a strike. Lined out to the shortstop Simmons. Pretty much up the middle. First time up. Missed with the breaking ball.
Look at that list there. You got Nolasco leading the majors with home runs given up. And then this Chavez, number 4. They've seen some guys jogging around the bases this year. It's a pretty offensive ballpark here. The ball carries very well.
Slow roller. First baseman Valbuena will touch it up. 2 down, runners advance.
Second baseman.
Well, for Mr. Cano, 2 outs, 2 ducks on the pond here.
My guess is Chavez and Maldonado will be very careful with Cano here, first base open. Haniger on deck. Probably prefer the righty-righty matchup. See how they try to go about Mr. Cano here with first base open.
Probably grounded out to third baseman Escobar. First pitch well outside, ball one.
Can see Maldonado kind of giving some signs to Chavez to stay way out there, kind of expand the strike zone, setting way up outside, trying to get Robbie to chase. And they're just going to tell him to go on down there now. Gave him a couple opportunities to try to get Robbie to swing at something out of the zone, but he wasn't biting, so they're just going to send him on down.
Well, as we saw Friday night, and we see it all the time, he's got great power opposite field.
Yeah.
I mean, EY Jr., Eric Jr. made a fabulous catch to take away extra bases from Robbie on Friday night, slamming into the wall in left field. Mitch Haniger, an opportunity to do some damage. 2 outs, bases loaded, 1-0 Mariners. Starts him off with a slow breaking ball, strike one. Flied out to center first time. Mitch is 7th man to the plate here in the 3rd inning. He's going to have to throw a strike here. Bases loaded. Powell, Segura, and Cano all aboard. Went out to get that one and fouled it. Mike Scioscia fielded it in the dugout. 1-2.
Pretty good breaking ball right there. Location was very good, down and away, just out of the zone. And now Maldonado wants to go out, talk to Chavez. Probably they're just going to talk about what sign they're going to go with, or what pitch they're going to go with, so they don't have to give a sign. Segura's been out there a little while. Maybe he has a beat on what their signs are.
Well, here's the number, and hopefully this will be proven positive here. Haniger has a line drive rate of 31.8%. That's 9th among 212 full-time hitters right now. We've seen a lot of that. Wasn't biting. 2-2.
Well, they've worked Hanny exclusively away right here in this whole at bat. And my guess is they'll stay out there. Try to get him to chase.
2 outs and a 2-2 pitch. Bases loaded. Popped it up. Oh, that's a tough break. That is a tough break. Making a play is Espinosa. The Mariners do pick up 1. They leave 3. Gene Segura accounts for the run with a base hit up the middle. It's 1-0 Mariners. Early lead for the Mariners, 1-0 on a Gene Segura RBI. And good look at Kyle Seager. And we have him in mind because the Kyle Seager bobblehead for him. It's back coming up Saturday. First 20,000 fans are going to get a bobblehead of the Mariners third baseman when the team takes on the A's. First pitch at 7:10. And thanks to Root Sports. So come on by. Mariners.com. Go there for your tickets. Bottom third of the order against Paxton. Here's Luis Valbuena. Big Pax, 6 up, 6 down so far. 5 ground outs and a pop-up. Valbuena gets into one deep right field. Going backhanding her on the track, jumps and makes the catch. Mariner fans are well familiar with Valbuena, the damage he did as an Astro back in 2015 with 7 home runs against the Mariners.
Nice play by Hanny right there. One of the things, we saw the numbers for Pax before and after the DL stint. One of the things we've noticed after is he's given up a home run in each of his starts. As you see Hanny make a leap and kind of come down onto the fence. But he had not allowed a home run in his starts previous to the DL, and then he's allowed 1 per start since. So seeing a different pitcher today, though. It seems like he's down in the zone a little bit more. And that's where he wants to live, with that breaking ball and that heater.
Typical of the West Coast teams. At night, ball doesn't carry real well here, but daytime, different story, right?
Absolutely, and that really was a pretty good example, because I didn't think he hit that ball that well, but it carried almost all the way to the fence.
And the way Mitch reacted to it is the same thing. He's thinking the same thing you were thinking.
Yeah.
I got this. No, I don't.
Yep. Yeah, typically the ballparks during the day, they'll give up some home runs. At night, the air gets much more dead.
Segura for out number 2. 4th assist already for Mr. Segura.
Well, that was pitch number 25 for James Paxton.
He's in great shape.
20 strikes to just 5 balls, Davies. He's really pounding that strike zone. So far, haven't really seen that upper velocity yet. Still around 93. But Scott Service has got to be pleased with what he has seen so far out of the chute with James Paxton this afternoon.
This Angel Ball Club, their offensive profile, 13th in batting average, 11th in runs, 14th, next to last in homers, 8th in hits, 12th in on-base percentage. One thing they do lead in is base stealing. They've got 75 bags and caught just 24 times. It's Ben Revere. Looks at strike 1. And now looks at strike 2. Ben 1 for 3. RBI ground out last night. Here does a pinch hitter. Got a base hit on Friday night.
.94 on those first 2 fastballs to Revere, and then a good breaking ball down in the dirt. So his velocity starting to creep up just a little bit, like we had hoped, Dave.
Love seeing that 1-2 pitch. Mechanically, that lead arm, is he back to where he used to be?
Yeah, they worked on that a lot last year. I know they looked at his lead arm and his glove coming up a little bit too high. They had to kind of bring it down more of a 3/4 position as he swipes it as he comes forward. Help with his consistency tremendously.
He is looking good here. Seager makes an easy play. First time through the lineup, 9 up, 9 down, and he's got a 1-0 lead. HI Franciscan Health, the Mariners' official partners in health. Learn to stay Northwest healthy at nwhealthy.org. Buy Safeco Insurance. Find a local agent at safeco.com. Do more. And buy Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Lovely blue sky above here, the Big A in Anaheim. Dave Sims, Dan Wilson, Mariner fans. Yeah, they were at Mariner Hat Day. There we go. Get the fedora.
Nice.
See if the Mariners can build on this lead. James Paxton certainly doing his part. 9 up, 9 down through the first 3 innings. Here's Seager, Valencia, and Heredia against Jesse Chavez. Kyle, first time up, fly to right field.
You're sporting a nice hat yourself today, Dave.
Oh, thank you.
As
one
always.
One from the family collection. Yes, indeed.
Like it.
Thank you.
I remember the guy, the scout that used to be behind the screen.
Oh yeah, Dodger
Stadium.
Stadium. Yeah. I don't. We'll have to ask JR his name. Or Mike Brito. They're forever.
Yep.
With the big Panama hat.
Yep,
Look at
the
you.
white
Hey,
hat back
it's
there.
officially a Dodger game because Mike is here. That's right. He was Fernando Valenzuela's guy.
There
That's
you go.
right. They get the local flavor when we come here to SoCal.
That's right.
They get the answer instantaneously from the fellas.
These guys are good.
Breaking ball hit foul. But Brian and JR got to work with His Eminence, Mr. Scully, for so many years. So always pumping them for stories.
Loved his call.
Which one?
Well, I mean, so many calls, but actually, maybe it was it Joe Buck that said, "I can't believe."
No,
what
that
I
was
just
Jack.
saw"?
That was Jack Buck.
Jack
Yeah.
Buck, yeah.
It was Jack Buck. Yeah, on the Gibson home run.
Yep.
There we are. There's
There you
JR.
go.
And Brian's
JR.
back here.
Dave in his hat. Love it.
Swing and a miss. Seager's gone. Mentioning Mr. Scully. Love talking to other announcers, and his name will come up. And the reverential tones that we all speak about him is unbelievable.
Wow.
I call him His Eminence, and so do a few other people. Century Link brings you what's next. Ian Kennedy will go for the Kansas City Royals against Andrew Moore, who was sparkling in his pro debut, major league debut recently. Went back. Mariners had a couple of days off, didn't need 5 pitchers. But he made a very good account of himself.
Andrew Moore's been a big prospect ever since he signed with the Mariners a couple of years ago. Had a chance to watch him go through the minor leagues, and I'll tell you what, his work ethic, what he has between the ears, Dave, is exceptional. And it didn't surprise me that when he got to the big leagues, he had a pretty good outing. I mean, he's groomed himself for that. Look forward to a lot of good starts for him.
2-1 to Valencia. Took a called third strike, ending the 2nd inning. What's been your experience? Danny had a conversation with home plate umpire Bill Welke at the end after he struck out looking. And again, we said that they agreed to disagree.
Right.
Yeah, how far can he go on a count? I mean, it depends on the guy, on the umpire.
Yeah, it depends on personality and a lot of things. I don't know if Bill and Danny have history or not. Sometimes history plays a role as well. So
if it's history,
you
you got about 5 seconds to get out of here, right?
That's right. But typically, you see managers go out from time to time. You don't see it as much anymore, but you used to see it a lot. And typically, what would happen is if the umpire thought he missed it or thought it was a closer call or whatever, he would kind of give that guy a little bit more time.
Okay.
If he was pretty sure of himself, then it wouldn't take long. And but again, history plays into it. If they've been on him the entire ball game, he's not going to put up with much then either.
Calhoun coming in, and a nice catch by Espinosa over the shoulder. So Chavez throws a nice 4th inning, going 1-2-3. Right now, the Gene Segura RBI single, accounting for the only run in this Mariner lead. As you thank you very much. Top of the order for the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, with Mariner fans enjoying themselves here at the ballpark. Good outing so far here for James Paxton. He's retired all 9 men that he's faced. He's going to get another out right here as Heredia glasses on. 1 out.
Well, Maben's been very aggressive. Seen 3 pitches for a leadoff man. That's kind of strange. Usually, leadoff guy is in there to see some pitches, let his teammates see some pitches, but he swung at the second pitch his first time up, grounded out, and then leads off the inning and flies out to center field. But again, Dave, James Paxton will take that.
Yes, indeed. It's just the second fly ball. There was a foul out to the catcher, Mike Zunino. Everything else been on the ground. No strikeouts, no walks for Paxton. Here's Cole Calhoun. At 94, missed ball 1. Calhoun tried to check his swing, hit a little soft comebacker. Paxton in his first at bat. Two and 0. Three-ball count. First one of the afternoon for Paxton. Three and 1. Calhoun stepping up, trying to slow down Paxton as you look at Pujols. 3-1. Boy, he's battled back. 3-2.
Jump back into it to the count there. That 96 on that fastball.
Foul off of Zunino. Boy, that's a pronounced buggy whip that Calhoun has, when he's at the load. Reminds me of his bat up high like that, but he's getting that rhythmic little snap job there.
A la Gary Sheffield, who used
Good
to
call.
really waggle that bat around. Feel the barrel. That's what the hitters like to do. Feel where that barrel is.
How'd you pitch Sheffield besides carefully?
Well, the one thing with Sheff was he had an incredibly quick bat. He could hit a fastball. Had trouble with the slider, so we gave him a steady diet of sliders as best we could. And mixed in that fastball to kind of keep him off the slider.
Strike 3 called. 11 consecutive hitters retired by James Paxton. That's his first strikeout. 2 down here in the 4th.
Yeah, some great pitching right here by Pax. Getting behind 3-0 and then coming back. And this is a great fastball on the outside corner to Calhoun. And that's one of those instances, Dave, where you, as a hitter, you kind of just have to tip your cap. And that's a tough pitch to hit at 97.
Pujols grounded out to short. .96. Guess what, Dan? He is starting to really get into it.
Pretty good fastball there too.
The 1-1. You got it, use it. 1 and 2.
Yeah, and that velocity, like we mentioned earlier, makes the breaking stuff, the off-speed stuff, that much better too, because the differential is greater.
Going to hang up for Heredia. Mr. Paxton, 12 up, 12 down. Right now, he's on fire. 1-0. Mariners. Over the Angels and the forecast calling for snow showers this Friday at Safeco Field. That's because the first 20,000 fans are going to walk away with a snow globe of either the Kingdome or Safeco Field, courtesy of Emirates Airline. Log on to Mariners.com for tickets. Dave Sims, Dan Wilson with you here in Southern California. The Big A in Anaheim. Mike Zunino leads off. Swing and a miss by Mike. Struck out first time. Chavez has struck out 3, walked 2, 1 intentionally. Giving up an RBI single to Gene Segura. James Paxton, 1 strikeout. Nary a base runner, nary a hit. Up high to Mike. Mike 4 for 13 facing Jesse Chavez. Two and two.
Dave Chavez already up to 80 pitches as he works here in the 5th.
Fouled off by Mike.
Interesting, Mike hit that home run in the first game of the series on that curveball. He crushed it over 400 feet to left center, and Gideon was pretty steady. They had a fastball since. Nolesko last night threw a lot of breaking balls to everybody, but today Chavez has given him a lot of fastballs.
Good take there. 3 and 2. Zunino, Bugpal, and Gene Segura. Pitch number 8 coming up to Mike. Taking a look, Valbuena's got room. 1 out. Let's take a look at our Delta Airlines. Keep climbing standings. Here's what the West looks like. The Astros, huge margin. And then you've got the Angels, Rangers, and Mariners hovering around the 500 mark. What do you think? Can they sustain that?
The Astros?
Yeah. It's Paxton working on a gorgeous game here through 4. Can they sustain that run?
One of the things that helps you sustain that is good pitching, and that's, I think, one of the things that they have. They've got McCullers now off the DL. Once Keuchel comes back, they're going to get a lot more consistent on the hill as a starting rotation. So I think they can. So we'll see how it plays out. But everyone's kind of just writing them off to win the West. And there's still a lot of baseball to be played.
Welcome back, Boog Powell, 2 for 2. Called up today with Nelson Cruz out with a knee injury. They sent back Max Posey to AAA. Brought up Boog. He was the hottest hitter down there, hitting at .331, and has certainly shown up nicely here today with 2 base hits to right field.
Yeah, Boog getting aggressive here on a fastball. It's middle, and taking it the same way he took the first one, right into that hole. Get a little speed on the bases now and see if the Mariners can't bring him around.
Segura had a 10-pitch at bat to open up the ball game, grounded out. 5-pitch at bat in the 3rd, singled up the middle, brought home Heredia for the Mariners lead. One to Gene. Just inside. 2-1. "90 pitches.
Wow. A lot of stretching going on out there in that Anaheim bullpen.
You know it. Throw over to first, back safely. Looking at the wild card standings, there's a lot of teams battling for those top 2 wild card spots. Long run by Calhoun. He's got no play. Got 7 teams within 2 games.
Wow.
Wild card positioning is Blake Parker, one-time Mariner, heating up. They have no lefties down there. Another long at bat for Segura. He's personally responsible for a big portion of this pitch count for
Yeah, he's done a nice job of
Chavez.
running that pitch count up. Chavez looking for that ground ball. He hasn't gotten a ground ball. He had 2 in the first inning. And he had another one in the third. Otherwise, it's been fly balls that he's given up. But that pitch count got up in a hurry.
He's upwards of 20 plus for sure. Another foul ball. "20 pitches and 8 foul balls." Gene Segura is laying one on Chavez.
You contrast that leadoff guy with Cameron Maven, who's seen 3 pitches and made 2 outs.
Count goes to 3-2. Maven coming off a 2-for-4 performance last night.
What do you think? They're going to send Boog right here?
I would. They're thinking right along with you.
Yeah.
He's got 9 stolen bases, got plus speed.
Pretty good hitter at the plate.
Yep. He can put pretty much anything in play. 3-2 runner does go. Pitch swung on, line drive, base hit, left center field. That's going to roll, and getting a wave on his boot pal. He's going to score easily. RBI double Gene Segura, 2-0 Mariners. Two RBI day for Segura gives him 25. That's his 13th double. 2 for 3 day for Gene the hitting machine.
Outstanding piece of hit, and I thought Boog had an outstanding jump as well. Probably would have stolen the base. But Segura, look at, there goes Powell on that great jump that he got, and he sees the ball out there in left center and just keeps right on going. Ball doesn't even get to the fence, but Boog still scores easily.
And he had no hesitation in waving him.
Not at all.
Gamble. And he catches it on the line. You believe this? Double play. Mariners do pick up a run on 2 hits, no errors, nobody left. 2-0 as James Paxton working on a beauty through 4. And James Paxton throwing a beauty here. Here's an opportunity for you to win tickets to Kyle Seager bobblehead night. Text Seager to 71532 and you could win 2 tickets in the commissioner's box, plus your very own Kyle Seager bobblehead. Here we go in the home fifth. 12 up, 12 down for James Paxton, on top of his game to say the least. Struck out 1. That was Cole Calhoun, got him looking in the 4th after falling behind 3-0 in the count. Here's Escobar. He's behind here 2-0. Escobar grounded out the 3rd. There's a strike. Two and 1. That's playable for Danny Valencia. Fair territory, 1 out.
Good little off-speed pitch there, down and away. Get Escobar to reach for it out in front. He's been around that strike zone all day long, Dave. Making good pitches. You see Escobar having to reach out front for that changeup.
Here's Simmons, fouled out to Zunino. Segura in the 3rd RBI single, Segura in the 5th RBI double. Already has scored the 1st, Powell the 2nd. When he's needed strikes, he's been able to find them. 7 ground outs, 5 balls hit in the air, and 1 strikeout thus far for James Paxton. 2-1 pitch. 2-2.
That's a good point, Dave. He's been 3-0, 2-0 a couple of times, several times, but he's been able to crawl back into the count and been able to retire the hitter.
A full count here. To Simmons, on deck Martin Maldonado. Paxton 3-2 with a 2.12 ERA career against the Angels. Pitch. And Danny Valencia, nice play. Can Paxton get there? Get the bag? Yeah, he got it. Two outs, 14 up, 14 down.
Well, I thought off the bat this was going to be a base hit, but Danny Valencia making a very nice backhanded dive to snare this ball. And then Pax being able to get over there in time. A little bit late, but was able to just get his foot in there.
If he has to do it again, he'll take a better angle. He didn't do that usual route. He came in kind of straight. He didn't flatten it out.
Well, I think what happened was he was a little bit late on the jump to get over there, so he went to the most direct route he could. And thankfully he did that because he just got his foot in there in time.
Simmons, good runner. Here's Maldonado.
Wow, nice play. That was
not known for being nimble. And that was a fine play.
good curveball there on the outside corner. His location has been very, very good today.
Bouncing ball, foul. 1-2 the count. Comes the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Tag. And Mr. Paxton picks up his second strikeout of the afternoon. Flawless through the first 15 hitters. Alert everybody, 2-0 Mariners. Seattle Mariner baseball on Root Sports coming to you thanks to Jack in a Box. Come try the sweet or spicy barbecue bacon cheeseburger combo for $4.99, limited time only. By BNSF Railway, sponsor the BNSF Blast. By Money Tree, proud to make a donation to Mariners Care for every Mariners win. And by CenturyLink, connecting you to the power of the digital world. See Chavez, day is done. He threw a lot of pitches, Dan Wilson.
A lot of pitches early, and Segura really one of the more pesky hitters he had to face today. Over 20 pitches just to him, but 5 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 3 strikeouts, 2 walks, but the pitch count was what did him in. And now the Mariners welcome in Mr. Blake Parker. See his numbers on the year. This is his 40th appearance, 3-2 record. 2.04 ERA. That's an outstanding ERA, giving up just 1 home run and 51 strikeouts to 9 walks.
Parker 6'3", 225 out of Fayetteville, Arkansas. And Cano swinging a big breaking ball. Parker out of the University of Arkansas, like Drew Smiley and Dallas Keuchel.
Blake was in our system last year, Dave.
Yes, sir.
Had a chance to see him at Tacoma quite a bit. He was closer for a big part of the season down there.
1 inning, 1 game with the big club last year. Got into 16 games with the Yankees after he was cut loose by the Mariners.
.94 on that fastball. Last year we was riding more at 91, 92. This year averaging up around 94 miles an hour. So really gained some velocity here.
Began his career in the big leagues with the Cubs back in 2012. Buena taking himself. Robbie Cano retired 0 for 2 with an intentional walk here today. They crush home runs and dominate in your very own Derby competition in the official MLB.com Home Run Derby game on the App Store and Google Play. Swing for the fences against more than 10 million players from around the world as your favorite Derby All-Star. Download Home Run Derby for free today. Big fireworks show tomorrow night. Kansas City in town. Let's see at Safeco Field tomorrow. Mitch Haniger batting in the 4 spot today. No Nelson Cruz. Right knee injury will keep him out for a couple of days. Hopefully no more than that. third inning on a 2-2 pitch. Mitch reached for a pitch away from him. They've been staying away from him. He fouled it out to the second baseman with the bases loaded. Ended the Mariner threat. Another breaking ball.
Parker will throw a little bit of a curveball that you saw right there, and he's also got a split, which is what Robinson Cano just grounded out on. Again, that velocity that's up a little bit at 94 will make those pitches even better.
Got him in chase, 2 down. Mariners coming home to take on Kansas City and the Oakland Athletics. Be home later on tonight. Look forward to that. Some of the other things coming up. Got fireworks tomorrow night. A patriotic cowboy hat on Tuesday. Bark in a park. Bring your pooches to the ballpark on Thursday. The snow globe night Friday, and Kyle Seager bobblehead on Saturday. Seager lifts one short left center field, coming on Maben. Easy inning, 1, 2, 3. Gene Segura has driven in 2 runs, but the star of the show right now, James Paxton, 15 up, 15 down with 2 strikeouts. Of this series, Mariners and the Angels, and cheer on the team, then round your way to home with a Sound Transit Day Pass. Learn more at soundtransit.org. James Paxton, bottom third of the order coming up, so complete the second time through. He's got Valbuena, Espinosa, and Revere. Line score. The immortal words of Rod Stewart: every picture tells a story, don't it? Valbuena flied out to right. The 1-1. Good movement, 94. Was it 2 innings ago? He was hitting 96 with regularity.
He had fallen behind a little bit, got to a 3-0 count, and then came back with some good heaters in that at bat.
Two to Valbuena. Well, one of the most significant at bats. He's behind 3-0 to Calhoun in the fourth, comes back and strikes him out looking. Bud Norris heating up. And a nice play on a diving play by Valencia. Look out. There's an even better play by Paxton to get over, cover the bag to beat Simmons.
No great pitching performances without good defense. Some sparkling plays.
You know it. Here's a 2-2 to Valbuena. And it misses outside, ball 3.
I'll tell you the thing I like about his breaking ball today, he's been able to keep it down. And we've seen Z have to go down and block it a few times, but that's really where you want that breaking ball, is down out of the zone.
3-2 pitch struck him out. Back-to-back K's, third for the ball game. 16 up, 16 down. One away here in the 6th.
Well, that curveball down, followed by the 3-2 heater up. Pretty good combination for Pax today so far, and Valbuena just can't get his bat head to the ball. You take a look at the Snoqualmie Casino Snowmo.
Boy, sharp.
Wow, good pitch.
Danny Espinosa, ball 1. Grounded out to Segura. Falling behind 2-0. Valencia in about a half step on the grass at first. Seager was in. Now he's back behind the bag a little bit at third. Outfield, a couple steps towards right. 2-0 pitch. And there's the first base hit of the ball game for the Angels. First base runner, clean base hit. 16 consecutive hitters retired by James Paxton with 3 strikeouts. He had a perfecto through the first 16.
Well, it's a 95-mile-an-hour fastball on the inner third. And Espinosa just, the 2-0 count, just gets his hands inside of it just enough. And gets it over the leaping Segura. Thought for just a second Segura was going to have a chance to get it.
Made a good effort, too. Wow. You know it was on the line. Here's Ben Revere, grounded out to Seager. Seager in on the grass.
Espinosa just 3 out of 7 in steals. And with the lefty Paxton, now we'll see him make an attempt, but they will try to keep him close.
Slicing fly ball that Gamble takes care of. 2 away, back to the top of the order, and Cameron Maven 0 for 2.
Cameron Maven.
Maven's been very aggressive with Paxton today. Only seen 3 pitches. See if the Mariners can take advantage of that aggressiveness here and make some good pitches early in the count.
Ball 1. Paxton's never thrown a complete game and has never thrown a shutout. This is his 5th year in the big leagues. I like his ability when he is. Today when he's fallen behind, he's been able to get right back in it. The exception was Espinosa 2-0, and Espinosa wasn't waiting around and lined a single to break it up.
Right.
1-1. Good pitch. They've been career 2 for 7 against Paxton. The lefty from Ladner, BC. 1-2 pitch. That pitch got in on him quickly.
Well, 73 pitches, still pitch count in really good shape.
Paxton looking for his first win since June 6th. With 5 innings, 12-3 victory at home against Minnesota. Runner goes, got a great break. And they got him. Well executed by James Paxton to pick off Espinosa. 1-3 on the putout. And the Angels are done. It's 2-0 Mariners. Norris, one-time starter, now a reliever, did a little bit of closing when we saw him earlier this year.
Now you see Norris' numbers just activated last night off the DL with the right knee problem. This will be his 35th appearance, 1-2 record. Giving up 3 home runs, opponents hitting just 197 against Bud.
David Stephen Norris, his given name. He's out of Green Bay, California, originally drafted by the Astros, 6th round, 2006. Now Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Here's Valencia, hitting one deep down the line, chasing Calhoun, and it is a foul ball. And he gave it a good ride, and he struck out looking and flied to center today. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Seattle Mariners and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Seattle Mariners. See the Mariner colors here at the Big A. Temperature up to 80 degrees right now. Brilliant sunshine. Slight breeze blowing out towards the left. One to Valencia. Danny 2 for 3 against Bud Norris. Big hack. 1-2. Norris in his 9th year in the big leagues. Houston, Baltimore, San Diego, Atlanta, the Dodgers. First year here with the Angels.
We've seen them throw Valencia a lot of off-speed stuff, a lot of sliders, a couple of sliders there trying to get Danny to chase. So far he's been able to lay off.
If he gets a fastball, I think he's going to tattoo one.
Yep.
Two from Norris. Valencia leading off in the 7th. Hit it hard, but right to the shortstop. Simmons. One away. Baseball is America's favorite pastime, so make sure you're at the Mariners afternoon game to your 4th of July plans. First 15,000 fans are going to get a Mariners patriotic cowboy hat when the Mariners take on the Royals Tuesday. Note the special start time, 3:40 p.m. So get your tickets at mariners.com and hope to see you out at the ballpark. That is a big sombrero. Oh,
wow.
Brother. That red paint is going to probably bring more heat on it, but nonetheless, that is really something.
And that's coming from a hat guy.
Yes, sir. Let that sucker breathe a little bit, man. You don't want to be baking under there. Guillermo Heredia walked and scored the first run for the Mariners in the 3rd. Since then, he's popped out to the second baseman, Espinosa. And if you're just joining us, James Paxton was perfect through the first 16 men that he faced. Fell behind Danny Espinosa 2-0. 8-hole hitting second baseman. 2-0 pitch, he drilled it in the left field for a base hit, breaking up the perfecto. 3 strikeouts for Paxton's pitch count's in great shape. And then with Espinosa on first, a 2 out, Maben up, broke for second, and Paxton calmly stepped off, guided him back to first and threw him out. 3-0 pitch here. Not close. Time now for today's T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball Break. And American League win leaders this season, Jason Vargas. We're going to see him Wednesday, the former Mariner. Chris Sale was absolutely, and I love when you guys use this, filthy yesterday with 11 Ks. I mean, just ridiculous. Santana Mariners tuned him up last time we saw him. Carlos Carrasco and Dallas Keuchel at 9-0. Keuchel still on the DL, his beard growing ever longer. As we go farther down the line here, Dan, this season and in the near future, Heredia, you see him as a base stealer, or is he going to be like a Bernie Williams with great speed, but not doing a lot of base stealing?
Well, you know, right now I think he has some things to learn in terms of base stealing. He's got good speed, but good speed does not a base stealer make. You've got to have good instincts. You've got to be able to read moves from the pitcher. And so as he continues to learn, and you know, when you get guys like Gerard Dyson and some of the guys on the club that can help him with that, that's going to be a tremendous lift for him in his game. But
Dyson would be an excellent and is an excellent tutor and mentor. Nino fouls this one off 1-2. Mike is struck out and fouled out to the first baseman, Valbuena.
Some of the best base stealers in the game didn't have the greatest speed. They were just good at stealing a bag. You know, guys like Paul Molitor, who even Robbie Alomar, Omar, those guys had good speed. Don't get me wrong, but
right.
It's how they approached it, how they were good base stealers that made them so effective on the bases.
I don't know if you're in town, but Bill Kruger filled in one day when Minnesota was up in Seattle, and he couldn't say enough about Paul Molitor's that ability, his ability stealing signs, recognizing signs, and tells. Mike and I were talking about that the other day. And I didn't get a chance to see Molitor in his prime a lot, although I did see him a lot when he was DHing in Toronto in 92-3. When they were just raking all the time. Good breaking ball. Strikes out Zunino. 2 away.
Well, I'll say this about Paul Molitor, and not Dave, because he's a former Minnesota Gopher as well. But he's probably one of the smartest baseball guys I've ever been around in terms of the things he can observe on a baseball field and the things he looks for. I know base running was kind of his thing. Great base stealer, was the best at going first to third, and I think a lot of that was understanding who was in the outfield, understanding how hard the ball was coming off the bat. And there's so many factors that go into it, but he made that kind of stuff a science and became a great player because of it. And, oh, by the way, could hit a little bit too.
Cut the bases beautifully when he ran. Right?
Great player, very heady player, and I'm sure those guys in Minnesota are, learning from him daily on his knowledge and his expertise in that area, in all those areas.
Have a day, Boog Powell, 2 for 2 and the run scored. A couple of base hits to right after being called up for today's game. Max Posey sent down. Let's swing the snap throw back. And using the left-hand hitter as a shield.
Yeah, nice play by Maldonado right there. We saw him make a snap throw earlier in the ball game, but this one was a little bit more disguised. He kind of stood up like he was going to throw it back to the pitcher, but rotated a little bit more.
Threw it right behind, coming out of
Powell's back.
Yeah. Breaking ball, a good one from Bud Norris. Powell swings over 1-2. Gene Segura has accounted for both Mariner runs. 3rd inning, RBI single to center. 5th inning, a double to left center. And that's with Powell. He was on the move on a 3-2 pitch. With 1 out back in the 5th inning. James Paxton giving up 1 hit. Shutout ball through 6 with 3 strikeouts. No walks, just the 1 hit. It was perfect through the first 16 men that he faced. Norris in the early portion of his career was strictly a starter. Best year with Baltimore, 15-8 back in 2014. Ooh, that's close. Already it was wheels. We're a cartoon character trying to get back those wheels. Watch this churn to get back. Uh-oh.
Good quick move by Norris. It just does get back. Didn't look like he was going there, but wasn't expecting the quick move from Norris.
Pitch taken outside, 2-2. One
of the things base runners will do over at first base is, because of their angle, might be able to get a look at the signs from the catcher to see if it's breaking ball. Obviously, breaking ball's taking a little bit more time to get to the plate.
There's one, and very effectively used by Bud Norris to end the Mariners' 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th inning stretch time here in Anaheim. 2-0 Mariners. difference in the ball game. James Paxton, your star today, throwing some perfect baseball through the first 16 men that he faced. It's almost like a hockey game when you played. Our first star of the game. The second star of the game would be Gene Segura. He's knocked in 2 runs, but that's a great play right there.
Yeah, done a nice job. He's been around the strike zone, used his fastball effectively, and then been down and down out of the strike zone with that breaking stuff and off-speed stuff. And I tell you what, outstanding ball game for James Paxton.
Home 7th coming up, and James Paxton will be on the mound upon our return. Stay with us here on Root Sports. What else could you buy with the Washington's lottery win? Well, play today. We're at Angel Stadium here in Anaheim, California. Dave Sims, Dan Wilson. That man right there, James Paxton's been spectacular today. Giving up just 1 hit. And Dave Valley, you've caught some fine performances in your day. What are your thoughts on Paxton to this point?
Yeah, I think you're right, Val. I think that the key for him has been able to keep that breaking stuff down. He's done a nice job getting ahead of hitters. The velocity, we've seen pretty good velocity, 95, 96s. And then that makes that breaking stuff, when he can keep it down, all that more effective. And I think we've seen that really, really consistently from him today.
Yeah, for sure. Val, thanks so much. Catch you and Angie on the Mariners postgame presented by Alaska Airlines coming up at the end of this one. 1 out and a 1-1 count here to Cole Calhoun. Tapper back to Paxton and a called 3rd strike. It's one of the better pitcher comebacks we've seen this season. Going back behind 3-0 and then coming back to get him looking. That was back in the 4th inning. 2-1 pitch. Up high.
Yeah, and that pitch to strike him out was a nasty fastball on the outside corner, and found himself behind of Calhoun again here, 3-1.
First walk of the afternoon. Just the 2nd base runner for the Angels. Bring up Albert Pujols. Ground out the short, fly to center. 2 runs driven in by Gene Segura for this 2-0 lead. Rubber match of this series. Mariners win 10-0. Angels win 4-0.
Calhoun 4 for 4 in stolen bases. I don't think we'll see him take off here with Pujols up, but it's kind of a sneaky runner.
Do not underestimate him. Two-0.
It's a good visit right here by Mike Zunino. You kind of sense things going awry a little bit. He got behind Calhoun 3-1. Now he gets behind Pujols 2-0. Great job of kind of sensing that, getting out there, giving him a little bit of a breather, and then kind of get him refreshed to come back here off Pujols.
Alberts bounced into 13 double plays. 2-0 pitch. They get 3-0. This is Paxton's baby. Nobody warming up in the Mariner pen. Four-pitch walk. Tying runs are aboard. Yunel Escobar will be the hitter. And yep, here comes Mel Stoudemire Jr. Enjoy Mariners baseball and a great deal at Safeco Insurance Triple Play ticket nights at the ballpark. Ticket, a hot dog, and a beer, or Pepsi is yours for only $26. So join us the next time around. That'll be Wednesday against the Royals. Get your tickets at mariners.com/specials. Mel said his piece. Steve Cishek now starting to heat it up. Pax could use a double play ball right here. One out. Escobar is grounded out to third and popped up to Valencia. There's a strike.
8 ground ball outs so far for Pax. I think he wants number 9 right here.
Yes, sir.
It means 2.
Seager and Cano ready, willing, and able. Ditto for Seager at third. Good stop by Mike. 1-1. It's the most difficulty that Paxton's been in here today. There you go. 7 starts, home runs allowed in April and May. June a little bit different. That's in trouble. Haniger goes over to get it. 1 run will score. That's Calhoun. And Albert ambles over to third. So the Angels on the board. It's 2-1. A tying run is at third. The go-ahead run at first. RBI single. Yunel Escobar's first career hit against Paxton. He's now 1 for 7. Picks up his 24th run batted in.
Well, Escobar's been pretty quiet this whole series, and Pax gives him a good pitch. It's down, and it's away on the corner. But good hitters know what to do with that. They take it the other way, and that's what Escobar does. Hits it down into that right field corner area down there, and Haniger's over to cut it off. Pujols gets into third base, and here comes Scott Service. And that'll be the end of Paxton's day.
He was just scintillating through the first 16 men, retiring them, all of them perfectly, and gives up a base hit, a fly ball, and then picked off the runner to get out of trouble. But here, a couple of walks have hurt him. Time now for a Beacon Plumbing call to the pen. Brings in Steve Cishek. We'll be back after these messages. Paxton, although he'd like to have a few pitches back here in the 7th, he leaves with a 2-1 lead, but the Angels are threatening. Here's what he did today.
Yeah, you can see the line on him here, 6 1/3. Just the 2 hits, 1 run given up on that base hit by Escobar there. 87 pitches, and that'll bring on Steve Cishek, the beacon call to the bullpen. This will be Steve's 16th appearance, the 101 record, 4.38 ERA. Still allowed 2 home runs, struck out 12 and walked 4. Mariners here looking for another ground ball, another double play, get him out of this inning.
Simmons a tough hitter, 0 for 2 today. And there it is. Cishek, Segura, Valencia, double play. Just what they needed. Keep this a 2-1. Mariner lead here in the 7th. Beautifully done. 1 pitch and 2 put in the books. Well done. And nobody loves it more than Big James. That was a good place to spend it right here in Steve Cishek. 1 pitch, double play.
Yeah, looking to get the double play. And the thing I like about it is he made the fielding play that he had to make, and then he took his time to set his feet. A lot of times pitchers will rush that throw, but Steve Cishek set his feet, made a nice feed to Segura, who then was able to turn the double play. And when you got Simmons going down the line, you got to make sure of the throws, and that dugout was pretty happy, and nobody happier than Paxton.
That was a great picture right there. You can see Taylor Motter just screaming, yeah, that was great.
And here's the Angels' new bullpen for tonight's afternoon's game. Keenan Middleton will start. He got 28th appearance, 2-0 record, and good live fastball.
Yes,
from Middleton.
indeed. He's thrown 5 fastballs at 100 plus in his limited action here. Middleton. Nick Vincent heating up. 28th game for Middleton. Fouled off. 8th inning, Segura, the hitting star, knocked in both Mariner runs.
He saw a lot of pitches today so far.
Oh my goodness. Jesse Chavez is going to have nightmares. Jesse threw close to 100 pitches, and a quarter of them went to Segura.
Wow.
Line drive, base hit. On an 0-2 pitch. Nicely done by Gene Segura. 3rd consecutive hit. The Mariners shortstop. Nice work on an 0-2 pitch.
Another piece of good hitting by Gene Segura. Really likes to use the center of the field, Dave, and you got to love that. His double earlier that drove in a run was kind of center, left center. This one gets the 0-2 pitch and just stays on it, hits it right back up the middle. And here's another guy that's used the middle of the field today, but Simmons has been standing there a couple of times when he's just smoked the ball.
First time up that happened, and then with Segura after he doubled in a run in the 5th. Simmons standing in the same spot now as he was then. Gamble did a nice job with a fastball away and hit it and went with it.
Yep.
Just drilled it, low liner. Simmons turned it into a double play, doubling off Segura at second base. Good count for Bennett, 2-0. Middleton back in the count at 2-1. Two-one pitch. 3-1 to Ben. Middleton, 6'2", 185. Third round pick of the Angels back in 2013 out of Lane Community College in Eugene, Oregon. Went to Milwaukee High School in Milwaukee, Oregon. Good foul back. 3-2 for Ben. Middleton, a rookie, getting a lot of action here. Turns 24 in mid-September. Three-two to Gamble. Segura takes off, hits. Ball 4. The Mariners looking to build on this 2-1 lead. And here comes Robinson Cano. Hey fans, as we continue our annual Ultimate Northwest Fan Contest this season, we'd like to extend an invitation to all Northwest sports fans to join us over Labor Day weekend at Safeco Field. Receive a view-level ticket and your choice of an Ultimate Northwest t-shirt for just $17, or a box-level seat and a t-shirt for $36 when you purchase through this special offer. For details, visit mariners.com/ultimate. Chance for Robinson Cano against the rookie Keenan Middleton. First 2 men aboard. All 1 to Robbie. Grounded out the third, was intentionally walked and grounded out the first. Good wheels out there with Segura and Gamble. One for the downs there, 1-1.
Good swing by Robbie on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Great opportunity right here for Robinson to do some damage.
This kid's got the big heater, no question about it. We mentioned 5 fastballs at 100 plus so far prior to coming into this game. And time called in granted. Bill Welke, you know how Robbie is. He's got his own little timing mechanism. When he's up there ready to pitch, if you're not delivering, he's going to step out.
Yep. Likes to be in control of the at-bat.
Yeah, he does a heck of a job too. Count it, 1-1. Rip down the line, carry, and it is off the fair ball. That's a 3-run homer for Robinson Cano. A line drive homer, his 17th. Takes his RBI total to 60 and opens up the lead for the Mariners. 3-run shot makes it 5-1 Seattle.
Well, we've seen some balls hit hard in this series, but none like this. I'll tell you what, you could hear it all the way up here, Dave, a rocket, and then it caroms right off the foul pole, fair pole, whatever you want to call it, down there, that right field line. Talked about it being a huge opportunity for Robbie. He's been swinging the bat so well, and another home run for Robbie here in Anaheim.
Outstanding. 17 homers, 60 runs batted in. 5-1 Mariners on a day Nelly Cruz has to sit out. He may have to sit out tomorrow, but superstar coming through. Years ago, when ABC had the Monday Night Baseball package and Warner Wolf, longtime friend, longtime sportscaster in Washington, did games, he started calling it the fair pole, and it stuck with him. He says, come on, it's a fair ball. Come on. There's the benefits of his screen drill again. He just kept it fair enough that time.
That's absolutely right. That screen drill, it's so effective on Robbie staying inside the ball. You know, Edgar talks about it a lot. Use the center of the field. We see a lot of guys on the Mariners doing that. It helps you to stay inside of it.
Haniger put it in place. Simmons throws him out. First out of the Mariners' 8th. Nice to have a cushion. Kansas City Royals, they were in 5th place in the Central Division. They have made a move, and they started today 3 games back. They'll send Ian Kennedy tomorrow against Andrew Moore. CenturyLink bringing you what's next. First look for the Mariners at the Kansas City Royals. And we'll be in Kansas City in early August, first week in August. Look forward to seeing Mike Moustakas, Eric Hosmer, Alex Gordon. See Jason Vargas on Wednesday. One of the real good guys, great guys in baseball. You know him, Rusty Kuntz.
Oh, yep.
First base coach, outfield coach extraordinaire. Here's Seager sending one left field. Backing up and then coming in is Revere. Kyle 0 for 4 now. 2 down.
First baseman is number 26, Danny Valencia.
Bring up Danny Valencia, 0 for 3. And take a look at this pitch that Robbie Cano hits.
Tried to go in. Looked like maybe it was a slider. And he didn't get it in deep enough. You can't help but wonder, the previous pitch or non-pitch, Robbie called timeout, stepped out of the box, or Welke stepped out.
Right.
He threw a slider on that pitch and he stuck with it on the next pitch to Robbie, and that's the one he hit off.
You
the
said
foul
Robbie
pole.
stayed in the box and watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point. Very good point. Danny way out in front of a breaking ball, 0-2.
No, Middleton's got the great fastball, like you mentioned. A lot of times with younger pitchers who've got the good heater, it's their secondary stuff
Right.
that they need to continue to develop. And it looks like with Middleton and what we've seen from his slider today, that's probably true with him. That slider needs a little work.
Danny swings and misses, comes up empty. Highlight of the inning, though. Little breathing room for the Mariners. Base hit and a walk, and then Cano goes boom. 3-run jack. And the Mariners have a 5-1 lead. and had an opportunity to speak with Nick about coming in as a reliever. Is it the scouting report, or you go on your own instincts? What's the story?
We go over a scouting report every team goes over a scouting report before each series. But it's more just, I think it's because each pitcher's different. So you're going to have to face that guy to say he hits fastballs away really well, but your fastball away is really good. And you throw him 3 fastballs away and he doesn't hit it. So it's kind of, you have to test that scouting report to your abilities and see if it works, see if it doesn't. The game's weird because every pitcher's different, every hitter's different. So I think it's more of a, like, you have to learn by your mistakes if you go that mistake route, or you can just stick with your strength and probably pays off.
Dan, you've sat in many a pitcher meeting. What's been your experience in that regard?
Well, I think Nick is right on, and it kind of goes back to the adage of that good pitching beats good hitting every day. And I think scouting reports are very important. They help you come up with a game plan. They help you devise how you want to go out there and go about attacking a lineup. But you have to use your eyes. You have to use your gut. You have to use the feel of the game and make your adjustments accordingly. And at the end of the day, it's always back to the pitcher's strength. If he's got something that he uses to get guys out, or he's got a strength, he goes to that when the game is on the line. And you always use that pitcher's strength to get you out of a jam or a situation. So Nick is right on with that.
Throw it and duck right there to Maldonado, base hit center field. First hit from Martin.
Looks like the Angels will pinch run Eric Young Jr. And Maldonado will come off for the afternoon, trying to get a little speed on the bases.
White Jr. made a wonderful catch, robbing Cano on Friday night, slamming into the left field wall. Here's Luis Valbuena. 0 for 1 career against Nick Vincent. In on the grass at third is Seager. Swing and a miss. Robinson Cano's 4th home run in as many games has opened up the lead here for the Mariners. 5-1, bottom 8. 3-run shot for Robbie. After Segura led off, was behind in the count. 0-2, single to center. Gamble walked, and then on a 1-1 pitch, Cano homered. Right off the fair pole down the right field line. Robbie home run number 17 takes his RBI total to 60. Nick Vincent 0-2.
Really pounding Valbuena inside. And a lot of pitches inside, getting ahead 0-2, and then a third pitch in off the plate. Looks like they're going to try to go away now.
Luis, from what we've seen, definitely likes middle in.
And I think a lot of lefties like it middle in, but they like it down.
Yes, sir.
And Nick's done a nice job of staying at the belt or higher when he's gone in.
Got a piece of it. Valbuena. He went from a guy that he hit a few home runs. He had 10 back in 09 with Cleveland. He had 12 with the Cubs in 13. 16 with the Cubs in the 14 season. Then he went 25 home runs with Houston and came back with 13 last year. Career .229 hitter entering today's action. We're over to first. Just tuning in, James Paxton retired the first 16 men that he faced. Left in the 7th. Steve Cishek got out of a jam with a 1-pitch, which led to a double play inning ending. And then Cano hit a 3-run homer to open up the lead to 5-1. Nick Vincent, second man out of the pen. James Paxton in good shape to win his 6th ball game of the season.
How about Cishek? 1 pitch,
Love
2
it.
outs. Take it all in.
Yeah. Sapchinski's got, I think, last time I looked, he had 3 1-pitch inning over situations.
Balbuena pulling a Segura here. Fouling him off.
Balbuena fly to right to strikeout today. Pitch. Now he's going full. Danny Espinosa's on deck. And a switch hitter. Three-two to Balbuena. Runner goes. Pitch popped up. And it's going to stay foul.
Off-speed pitch, got Balbuena out front. Z out to talk to Nick Vincent now. Just to kind of go over Balbuena one more time. How they're going to try to get him out right here.
Big spot right here. 3-2 to Balbuena. Runner takes off. Pitch. Drive to right field. Coming in. Handiger playing on the hop. Off his chest. Going to third is Young. Runners at the corners. Balbuena with a line drive base hit. Nice job by Handiger to keep it in front.
No, it's a fastball in that little sweet zone that we talked about, Dave. The down area, down middle. Balbuena hits a line drive into right field. Bat flip there. And gets Eric Young Jr. over to third base. And here comes Mel Stottlemyre. Discuss things with Zunino and Nick Vincent out there.
And they're going to get a pinch hitter, former Mariner Nick Franklin, who made his Angel debut yesterday. He'll stay on its plays second base. Now Nick Vincent against Nick Franklin. First time these two are facing off.
Really use that ground ball again right here, Dave.
Indeed. Nobody out, runners at the corners. Franklin jumps on the first pitch and hooks it foul.
That's one thing when you come off the bench, you got to be aggressive. And I know Dave Hansen talked about that a lot as a Mariner when I played with him.
A little mixed loyalty action there, huh? Dad must be from the Pacific Northwest, raised them as Mariner fans until
the Angels hat, Mariner jersey.
Look at this, base hit, Nick Franklin. That scores Eric Young Jr. Moving to second is Balbuena.
This is like a cutter or fastball. It stays up and in the middle. And Franklin stays with it. Gets it out in the left field, but remember the days of Dave Hansen was with the Mariners. He talked a lot about pinch hitting and the success that he had, one of the best pinch hitters in the game over the course of history. And talked about being aggressive. You got to come off the bench hacking, and we see that from Nick Franklin there, and he picks up a big base hit for the Angels, and now they have something going here in the 8th.
Ben Revere with runners at first and second. Strike one to Ben, who's 0 for 2. Grounded out to third, fly to left. Franklin picking up his first RBI as an Angel, his 11th on the season. He had come over from Milwaukee a few days ago. Revere represents a tying run here. Nick should be ahead 0-2. Nick came on following Steve Cishek, gave up a single and a single here, and it's produced a run. Another base hit. Having to hold up is Valbuena. He'll get the stop sign from Ron Renicky, and the Angels have the bases loaded and nobody out, bottom 8 in a 5-2 Mariner lead. 4 consecutive hits off of Nick Vincent. Top of the order, and Cameron Maben coming up.
A couple of these singles have been hit hard, but a couple have been little loopers into the outfield. This one again kind of jammed him a little bit. But Revere able to get enough to get it in the center field for another base hit, and now bases are loaded.
6, 7, 8, and 9 in the order, producing base hits for the Angels. There's Maben, who's 0 for 3. Nick Vincent needs a comebacker. Get a 1-2-3 double play. Maben super aggressive all day. Fouls off the first pitch. Mariners got a Segura RBI single in the third, 1-0. Made it 2-0 and a Segura double in the 5th. Angels get a run in the 7th and an RBI by Escobar. 3-run homer by Cano in the 8th, and now run on the board and a big threat. Little low.
Tuchinski and Zick getting loose down there in that Mariner bullpen and getting loose in a hurry.
One of the roughest spots Nick has been in this season. 1-1 to Cameron Maben. Pumps in a strike, 1-2. Big pitch here at 1-2. Driven deep to center field. Going back, Heredia makes the catch. Beautifully done. Run's going to score. Throw to third. Not in time. But Guillermo Heredia prevented humongous damage with a sensational catch off the bat of Cameron Maben.
That's a great catch, Dave, and I tell you what, he saves the Mariners from at least 2, maybe 3 runs. And see the pitch here from Vincent up in the about belt high, and Maben's been aggressive all day, and look at Heredia catches it and then kind of secures it into the glove. Great running catch out there in center field. Good concentration, and that'll bring out Scott Service. He makes the call for the lefty.
That'll be Zipchinski against Calhoun when we come back. Calhoun 1 for 8. The numbers jump off the page, and Scott Service wants to play them bad boys right now. 5-3 Mariners in the 8th. Our call to the pen brought to you by Beacon Plumbing. And Guillermo Heredia with a fabulous play in center field on our Snowmo as he slams into the wall. 1 run scores on the sacrifice fly, but he doesn't catch that. The bases probably get cleared. Wow, what a play. Look at that athleticism. Beautiful.
And that brought in Mark Szybczynski, and he'll take over for the Mariners here on the mound. You take a look at his numbers quick. This will be his 29th appearance, 3.45 ERA. Just giving up 1 home run. Opponent's hitting just 196, which Cole Calhoun only 1 for 8 against Mark Szybczynski, so playing a little matchup here out in that Mariner bullpen. Edwin Diaz has joined Tony Zick getting loose, so see how this all goes.
Mariners were here a weekend series back in early April, and brutal decision on that Sunday, trying to come out with a win today. Szybczynski, first pitch, ball 1. You mentioned Calhoun is 1 for 8 against Mark. Szybczynski has not had a lot of action. Pitched in last night's game, and 3rd of an inning gave up a hit and a run and a walk.
Courtesy toss over to first base, trying to keep Revere close. Mariners would like to keep this double play intact.
Here, here. 29th game, 15 2/3. Giving up 8 runs, Szybczynski. 1-0 pitch. Hit foul past Alfredo Griffin, the first base coach. Calhoun, the 6th man to the plate here for the Angels. Bullpens, both of them active. Houston Street for the Angels, Edwin Diaz for the Mariners. Veteran Houston Street. Had a DL last time we were here. Here's the 1-1 pitch from Szybczynski. Big cut by Calhoun. He's got 10 home runs and 39 runs batted in.
Mark challenging him with a fastball here, well located up above the belt. Calhoun not able to get enough on top of it. Good pitch. Kind of sets you up now to put him away, down and away.
Runners at first and third, 1 out. Infielded double play depth. Pitch. Hit foul again past Alfredo Griffin. Calhoun today is hit a comebacker to the pitcher, struck out looking, walked and scored. Big spot right here. Tying runs aboard. 5-3 Mariners. Pitch from Szybczynski to Calhoun. There's a throw over to first. Revere was close to the bag. Easy return.
Revere 6 out of 7 in stolen bases this year.
One and two. Szybczynski deals, runner goes, pitch, blocked by Zunino, stolen base standing up Revere. Count goes to 2-2.
Not much you can do there as a catcher. You see Revere take off, a pretty good jump, and the pitch in the dirt. And your priority there is to keep it in front of you. Otherwise, the merry-go-round starts. See Z doing a nice job of keeping it in front of him. Now the Mariners have lost the opportunity for the double play on a ground ball.
Strikeout would be very fruitful here. 2-2 pitch. Zipchinski deals. Hit hard. Just foul. So Zipchinski makes his living, getting a tough lefty in a tough situation here. Base hit to tie the game. Calhoun, a tough hitter. Gets time. Long look by Zipchinski. 2-2 pitch to Cole Calhoun. Short right field. Cano under it. He's got the good arm. No thought of advancing, so that's a huge second out. Really big.
It looked like the whole at bat, they tried to set him up in so they could get him out away. And they weren't able to get that pitch away until that last one right there. A little breaking ball on the outside part of the plate got him out in front. And that's a huge out. You see this breaking ball stays away from Calhoun. And that'll bring out Scott Service. And he wants the right-hander.
Well, Zipchinski got his man. 2 outs. Second and third. Mariners up by 2. Bringing the right-hander to face Albert Pujols. The 7th spot in the 9th to lose 10-9. Pujols with a home run in the 8th, and then he got a 2-run single in the 9th. All kinds of crazy things happened as 11 men came to the plate. Casey Fiend had a disastrous day as well. RBI by Cliff Pennington wins it, and that was on Palm Sunday, the day before Passover started. Back on April 9th, and now here's Edwin Diaz returning to the scene of the crime, looking to turn things around in a positive note here. A 4-out save opportunity. He's got Mr. Pujols to deal with here. Mariners at second and third. Mariners by 2. First pitch, ball 1. Pujols 1 for 4 against Diaz, and 2 rocky outings against the Phillies. There's a strike at 1-1.
Good fastball there at 96 down below the zone. Mike Zunino doing a really nice job of receiving that and getting the strike for Edwin Diaz. Good pitch. Good job by Z.
Couple of unproductive outings against the Phils, so Edwin trying to get back as he's 1-2 here. Tuesday, just to get him some work. The Mariners were trailing 4-2, and he came in and gave up 4 runs, only 1 earned on Tuesday. Then for the save Wednesday, 2/3 of an inning, 2 hits, 2 runs, all earned, 1 walk and 2 strikeouts. Albert puts it in play. Oh, bobbled by Segura. Throws wide. They do get the runner at first, and that will do it for out number 3. That was out number 3. And Mike Scioscia, not surprisingly, is out of the dugout. He wants to take another look at that Jim Reynolds call at first base.
Well, a little bobble by Segura here, then he rushes to throw. Pulls it across just a little bit. And hard to tell whether Danny was able to maintain contact with the bag as he caught that pitch, or that throw from Segura. And they're going to take a look.
And I don't blame him. Boy, that just a little bit of a bobble, and it looks like he's out, but man, is that close. But I tell you what,
Take another look here.
it could go either way. Let's see. Ball's going to be the back of the glove.
I think he's still on it.
Great effort. Out. Breathe easy, folks. Breathe easy. We go to the 9th. Oh, baby. Medic, please. 5-3 Mariners. Hey, it's baseball. Things happen. You kidding me? Thanks, Angie. 5-3 Mariners as we go to the top of the 9th. Houston Street, new pitcher. And Scott Service and the boys will be facing right here. Guillermo Heredia will be leading things off. New pitcher is the veteran Houston Street.
You take a look at Houston. He's getting loose out there, ready to face these Mariners. It'd be nice if the Mariners could tack on a couple of extra runs right here.
Whole bunch of changes. We'll detail them for you as we go along. Here's Houston Street.
And there are the numbers on Houston Street. Missed a lot of time on the DL. This is just his 4th appearance. 3 innings, 3 strikeouts, no walks.
Houston now 33 years old, out of Austin, Texas. The Longhorn, like his daddy James Street, a late great quarterback. James Street, late 60s national championship teams with the Horns. There's a strike on Heredia as they check with first base umpire Jim Reynolds. Heredia today walked and scored, popped the second and walked again, so he's 0 for 1. Ball outside. Juan Granderol takes over behind home plate. Nick Franklin in left. Revere goes from right field to center field. Maben from center to right, and Pennington's at second base. Thirteenth year in the big leagues for Houston Street. Came over here in the 14 season from San Diego in a trade. 2-time All-Star. Oakland, San Diego, and Colorado. For his career, 324 saves. Got a full count here. Popped up out of play. And I always get a kick out of watching Houston Street because he never maintains full contact with the rubber. Ever.
He likes to move around a little bit out there.
That foot is going to move all over. 3-2 pitch. Ball 4. Nice eye by Heredia, working his 3rd walk today. There's update on who's playing where at this moment for the Angels.
You see Franklin going out to left, Revere in center, which moves Maben over to right. Pennington in at second base, and Gratterall behind the plate. And a pinch runner for Guillermo Heredia.
So Gerard Dyson in a role he's familiar with. Late game, need a bag, need speed. Here he is. Been more of a regular with the Mariners, but that was his role for many years in Kansas City. And Dice will stay on and play center field. Ball 1 to Mike Zunino. Zunino 1 for 3 against Houston Street.
So you've been a little quiet since that home run in the first game. Nice to see a gapper here.
1-0 pitch. Back up this way. Jose Mota, Spanish broadcaster for the Angels, had his glove on and ready. Went just to his right. And that ball came up here with some heat.
It had a little hair on it, didn't it?
Good grief.
JR, you were all over it.
1-1 here. Back with a dive is Dyson. Dyson 3rd in the league in base stealing with 19. Maben leads with 24. Elvis Andrus with 20, and then Dyson. A 5-3 lead for the Mariners. Dyson, decent lead. Pitch 2-1 to Zunino. Pitch to Mike Z, 2-1. Dyson goes, pitch, swung on, and hit the center field. Dunk shot, is it gonna get down? No, double play. Oh, what a terrible throw. Wow. Ben Revere doing his 50 Cent impersonation with an awful throw. Saves the Mariners a double play.
Yeah, he's replacing the turf out there. Looks like maybe he slipped, but he came in hard, made the catch, and they had Dyson dead to right. It's just a good throw.
Boy, what a break.
And
what a break.
Dyson running on the pitch, kind of caught nothing he could do. And then it
stumbled his feet.
Yeah, his foot slipped.
That's what happened. He went to plant and didn't have it. What a break. Luke Powell, 2 hits today. Recalled. DH with Nelson Cruz, who celebrated his 35th birthday yesterday. Suffered knee injuries, listed as day-to-day. And his 10 years service kicked in yesterday, too, for Nelly. That's a heck of a birthday present.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sort of balances out the fact that he had to be taken out of the game. But good for Nelly.
Well, with each pitch here by Houston Street, you can see Dyson just studying and studying and studying, trying to get that good jump.
Powell's look good. First 2 times up, single to right. Scored back in the 5th. Struck out his last time. That was in the 7th. Dyson takes off. Pitch popped up. Playable. First baseman Valbuena. Two away. Want to win tickets to Kyle Seager bobblehead night? Well, text Seager to 71532 and you could win 2 tickets in the commissioner's box plus your very own Kyle Seager bobblehead. Trying to pick up another run or 2.
Take a look at the shortstop for the Angels on this pop-up. Dyson on the move, doesn't see the pop-up. And a good deke.
Great deke.
By Simmons.
Segura hits in his last 3 at-bats, 3 for 4 day. Taking a look, Valbuena. It will not come back to him. First time Valbuena facing off against Houston Street. Long at bat, first time up for Segura. 10 pitches grounded out, but he's been on fire since then. He really worked Jesse Chavez, and just joining us, Chavez, about a quarter of his pitches went to Gene Segura. His first 3 at bats he had. One with Dyson at first. He holds. He did go, says home plate umpire Bill Welke.
This would be a great matchup. Dyson with great speed, good base stealer. Gratterall at 50% throwing runners out, so it'd be a head-to-head matchup here.
I can see him going here, right?
Yeah, 1 and 2. Breaking ball count.
1-2. See what happens here with Dyson. Pretty good lead. Doesn't go back with the dive. James Paxton started for the Mariners. He's in line to get the win. Perfect through his first 16 men that he faced. Left the game in the 7th. Dyson holds, pitch outside. 2-2. Gene Segura at the dish. 335 hitter with those 3 hits today. Dyson takes off, pitch, breaking ball, hit hard, left center field. Revere will get it back in as Dyson shuts it down to cruise control to get the 3rd. What a day for Gene Segura. 4 consecutive hits, 4 for 5 day.
Just another nice piece of hitting, 3-2 count. And again, Dave, using the middle of the field. We've seen it from him all day long today. 4 out of the 5 times getting hits up in that area between left center and right center. Putting on a hitting clinic today.
He's impressive. So many weeks he led the league in hitting. A couple stints on the DL really cost him. There's Ben Gamel. 0 for 3 with a walk and a run scored. He scored along with Segura on a 3-run homer by Cano back in the 8th. Rolls over on this one. Pennington throws him out. Here we go. Edwin Diaz will face Yunel Escobar, Andrelton Simmons, and probably a pinch hitter coming up in the 9th. 5-3 Mariners. The Mariners, the 3-run homer hit by that man Robinson Cano back in the 8th inning against rookie Keenan Middleton. Here's a look at what happened to pitch before.
Pitch before, he calls time and he throws a nasty slider. Cano gets back in the box, and it's not as good of a slider, Dave. And Cano just hits that thing right off the foul pole down there on the right field side. And I'll tell you what, you see something nasty down there, you know he's coming with the slider again, and then he jumps all over a pitch that was subpar. And that's the difference in the ball game.
We got the answer to the test.
Yeah.
Right before him.
That's right. And it wasn't as hard as he thought.
That's right. Here's Yunel Escobar. Diaz pumps in a strike. Edwin came on and got Albert Pujols to ground out in the 8th to end that inning. Scene of the crime for Diaz, where he gave it up, as did the bullpen. Fools Escobar. This was back on April 9th. Mariners gave up a 7th spot and lose 10-9. Trying to make amends here today. Ball and 2 strikes. 2-2. Two pitch to Escobar. Fights it off. Long run Haniger. Foul ball.
Well, we've seen Escobar go that way earlier in the game, pick up an RBI, and this one, good hard fastball runs in on his hands.
2-2 pitch. Hit to Segura. He's had a busy afternoon. Danny gets back to the bag. 1 out.
Well, that first out, Dave, in this kind of a situation is so huge. Keep that runner off the base, and it's a big first out for the Mariners here in the 9th.
Fielded 6 ground balls did Gene Segura today. Here's Simmons. While James Paxton was working on a perfect game back in the 5th inning, he recorded the 14th out. A diving play. Danny Valencia, and then Paxton got over and got to the bag just in the nick of time to get that out. 2nd out of the 5th inning. 1-1 to Simmons. Simmons 0 for 2 against Edwin Diaz. That's a good heat. 97, well placed.
Very good pitch there at the bottom of the zone. Another good frame job by Zunino.
Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. 2 down. Nasty, nasty, nasty.
Good quality fastballs in that at bat from Diaz. And this is the strikeout fastball. Very well located on that outside corner.
Cliff Pennington came in. Defensive replacement. Pennington a switch hitter, 259 hitter, left-handed. Overall 255 with a homer, 9 runs batted in. Boy, it sure would be nice equalizer here to get Pennington. He beat the Mariners with a game winner back on the April 9th here in Anaheim. Turnabout fair play. And an RBI single to right on Casey Fiend. And now Diaz at 2-2, 2 outs. Mariners up 5-3. Robbie Cano with a big 3-run homer, his 4th homer in the last 4 games. Pitch from Diaz. Breaking ball struck him out. Game over. Mariners win it 5-3 as they take this series 2-1 against the Angels. It's their 2nd win here in Anaheim this season. A beauty.
Well, outstanding job by the starter James Paxton today. Retiring those first 16 hitters of the ball game and then turned it over to the bullpen. A little bit of a rough ride there in the 8th, but they're able to close it out in the 9th. Good to see Edwin Diaz back out there closing it up for the Mariners. Good win and a good series win, more importantly, for the Mariners.
A 4-out save for Mr. Diaz, a win for Mr. Paxton. And Dano, thanks for sitting in. I think we hit another perfecto here, pal.
It was close. We looked at each other. We said, I don't know.
We did one with Felix back in 2012. That'll do it for us. For Dan Wilson, I'm Dave Sims. Right now, Mariners postgame presented by Alaska.